How can you actually grow an Instagram in 2021? Instagram feels extremely saturated. We actually wonder if it's still possible to grow an account from scratch in 2021, and we're so sick of hearing all the talk around the algorithm changing every single day, identifying your niche or your ideal client, or posting value consistently and all of that stuff. Okay, yes, we get it, but how? How can you actually do this? So this is everything that I would do today if I had to start from scratch and grow an Instagram account in 2021. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Laura, an Instagram and marketing expert. I help service-based businesses build and scale their business with the power of Instagram. So if that's you, don't forget to hit subscribe or also hit the bell if you really want to stay tuned for those latest tips and tricks to build and scale your business with Instagram. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, first of all, I'd start with nailing down a niche. Yes, I know, you hear this all the time, but having a niche is really important if you want to make it on Instagram. Because if you talk to everyone, you end up talking to no one. So make sure you nail down that zone of genius, that thing that you're really good at, and focus on that for your business strategy and your Instagram strategy afterwards. While doing so, I'd love for you to also identify your ideal client, because again, we're not talking to just everyone, we're talking to that ideal client that you want to be speaking to. And I'm not talking about what their demographics are or what they like for breakfast. I'm talking about the things that actually matter. What are their goals? What are their problems? What do they want to achieve? Who are these people in general? Try to really understand them so you can build a good content strategy based on this information. Okay, then moving on to your content strategy. So what is a content strategy? Well, a content strategy is going to be a proven framework of your content that you put out that makes sure that your content will help you reach your business objectives. So no more guesswork. Your content will do all the work for you and will make sure that you grow a community of fans, and fans are going to be willing to buy from you, which is going to be super important if you're a business owner. Because yes, as much as we all love growing an audience on Instagram and having lots of followers, what actually matters is having a bigger purpose with your Instagram. So make sure you have that, and that you have some sort of goal of monetizing your Instagram for your business, or looking at influencer marketing in the future, or whatever your goal is. Make sure that you have a bigger plan and a bigger purpose for your Instagram so you can actually monetize your account as well. Okay, so once I nail down that content strategy, I would start looking at my planning. And yes, your planning is not the same as your content strategy, because the strategy is completely different than just your planning, which is going to be your scheduling. Okay, so looking at my planning, I would probably choose to post 5 to 6 times a week, because of course, the more consistent you are and the more consistently you show up, the quicker you'll grow on Instagram. However, I always recommend my clients stick to a schedule that works for you. So if you can't post 5 to 6 times a week, that's completely fine. Then post maybe 3 times a week or 4 times a week, whatever is possible for you to keep doing consistently, because the more consistent you are, the better. There's no use in, let's say, posting 5 times a week and then going radio silent for 2 more weeks because you cannot keep up with content production. So find a schedule that works for you and start planning accordingly. And of course, if you're up for it, posting daily is going to be even better, because again, the more consistent you are, the quicker you'll grow. Okay, but what would this content look like? If I were to start an account from scratch in 2021, I would probably create a reel for every other post, and then every other post would be something highly savable. So I would probably go for a single post or a carousel. So here's an example of a single post. This is the kind of content that I mean that is highly savable. This means that it will get a lot of saves on Instagram because it's so valuable to my ideal client based on their goals, problems, and so forth. And so the more saves I get, the better it will be for me to grow an audience of fans, and fans will bring that word of mouth that will grow your account, and especially they will grow your business as well. Yes, I know you probably hear a lot of talk around creating shareable content, and shareable content is a game changer on Instagram, but honestly, shareable content is so 2019. What really matters on Instagram today is standing out in the value you provide, and that means creating highly savable content. And newsflash, Instagram is putting more and more features in place to make sure that they can understand how valuable your content is to your audience, because yes, in the end, Instagram is really moving towards becoming more of an educational platform as well. As for carousels, here's an example of a carousel. As you can see, I'm really taking the reader on some sort of story, on a little journey through a topic that I know is going to be really valuable to my ideal client, and I bring them from A to Z throughout, let's say, 10 slides. Again, this is going to be super valuable to my ideal clients, so it will get lots of saves. People will keep coming back to my content and they will start understanding that, okay, if I go to Laura's profile, I'm going to get high value, so I'm going to keep following her and I'm going to keep coming back for more. I'm going to tell my friends, my family, and whatever about her because she's been making already big changes just with her free content. I'm getting results and I'm going to keep coming back for more. So that's exactly what savable content does. It really makes sure that if you have indeed that good content strategy, that people keep coming back for more because your even just quick tips and little tutorials are helping people reach results and reach quick wins. And again, that's your content working for you. So that means that your content is doing all the work and will make sure you grow that community of people that are raving about you, which is exactly what you need if you really want to grow an audience in 2021. And obviously, I mentioned before, for every other post, I'd also create a reel. Reels is, again, it's gonna be super, super important because Reels is pretty much the only way to still go viral on Instagram right now. So if you're stuck on how to create good Reels and really indeed have that secret formula that helps you go viral, I do have a mini course on that. I added the link in the description below the video so you can check that out if you need help on that. Okay, moving on. I'd also make sure that I show up in my stories daily. Yes, that also means showing up on the days that I really don't feel like it, but newsflash, your stories don't always need to be in real time. You could perfectly film some stories on the day that you feel like showing up, the day that you, I don't know, make yourself look pretty and all of that, and then you film some stories, you keep those and you share those on the days that you don't feel like showing up. As for the strategy in your stories, I would really make sure that I really respect my content strategy also in my stories. So your stories is not just for the behind the scenes of your life and sharing your dog, family, whatever. It's about so much more. I'm not saying you cannot share personal stuff. Yes, you can do that to a certain extent, but make sure that you have something that goes beyond that. If you want high story views, which is going to be super important as a business owner because that's where the sale happens, you want to make sure that your stories also are valuable or inspirational or motivational to your ideal client. So make sure that your content strategy for your stories is really on point as well if you really want to get that high story views and spike your accounts to grow. Now that I have content strategy, I have my business foundations in place, and I nailed down my planning, I move on to engagement. Yes, I'm not a huge fan of engagement techniques, but keep in mind that Instagram is still a social media platform. So that means that you're gonna have to be social as well. So I'd like you to be social in 3 ways. First of all, identify a few accounts in your niche. So this is gonna be, let's say, competitors, or it could be people that have the same ideal client as you and have complementary services or anything like that. I want you to follow some of these accounts and really look at what content works for them, but especially engage on these accounts. What you're gonna do is that you wanna be one of the first when they post to add something valuable to their post. So let's say they talk about, let's say, content strategy, and you leave a comment that positions you as an expert talking about content strategy as well. So that is something that I really want you to do. Why? Because actually your comments, and especially if you're one of the first to comment on an account that is, you know, having quite some reach and having quite some followers, you get visibility through that comment. And that account has the same ideal client as your account. So that means that your ideal client is seeing you, and it's a great way for networking. It's a great way for visibility. So keep in mind that your comments need to be valuable. So I don't want you to just put emojis with a hands up or something like that. I really want you to position yourself as an authority in that comment section. Again, I said be one of the first to comment. So a great way to get around that is by turning on post notifications so you actually know when someone posts and you can be one of the first to post. Then I'd also make sure I follow some Instagram accounts of my ideal client. So that person that I'm really targeting. I'm not saying that from an engagement point of view. I'm more telling you to do that from a research point of view because I really want you to stay on top of understanding what this person is going through so you can really build a good strategy based on that. And then third of all, I want you to be social with your audience as well. So every comment you get, every DM you get, whatever engagement you are getting on your profile, make sure that you respond to them. These people are here for you. Make sure that you thank them for being there. Make sure that you are responsive and start building that meaningful community like that. So now that we have engagement covered, I would look at my hashtags. Yes, hashtags. I know everyone loves hashtags. Again, it's the cherry on top. So I would use hashtags in my posts, in my reels, everything like that, but not in my stories, because honestly, the results from posting hashtags in your stories are quite minimal. So I think it's a waste of time most of the time. So if you're stuck on your hashtag strategy, I actually do have a free guide on this. Again, I added it in the description below the video. You can download it from there and get my entire hashtag strategy so you know what to do with hashtags and you can spike your reach accordingly. So that's it. These are the steps that I would follow if I had to grow an account from scratch in 2021. It is really possible, but keep in mind that you need to make sure that you stand out, and you're gonna stand out by being strategic. So that's why we went from identifying your niche to identifying your ideal client, building a content strategy based on these people, building your planning based on that, then showing up in your stories daily, looking at engagement techniques, and then last of all, nailing down your hashtag strategy. Thanks so much for being here. If you made it this far, please don't forget to leave a little thumbs up. I really appreciate the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!